Good morning. It's lovely to connect with you today. My name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. Welcome to this week's video guidance. So while you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. You help me to be able to keep doing my work full time, and I'm very, very grateful. So thank you. So I trust you're well as we come into this new week. It is sunny but cool. I might regret wearing this thick jumper by the end of this video because the sun's reasonably warm even though it's cold, but we'll see. I just really felt drawn to green today, and I'm sitting here. This is our green gauge, which is like a little green plum green gauge tree, so it's growing quite nicely in this spring weather. So I trust you're well. How are you? Let's do a quick shout out. Actually, if you could say hello if you want me to shout out, I'll shout out in just a minute. But thank you for joining me today. If you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing today is using my combined deck of cards here. I've got 110 cards. There's 55 Speed of Light Oracle cards and 55 Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, and these cards have been combined. I've made them the same size so they can be combined if we want to. They're lots of fun to combine, I can tell you that. So I've combined these, so I'm going to use this deck, and I'll lay some cards out here in a minute to find the best cards that we need for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 18th of October through till Sunday the 24th of October. It is Monday the 18th of October here for me now. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is the 18th, and the time is 9:34 a.m. So let's do a shout out here and then we will get started. Margarita, good morning. And Valentina, hello. Hi Kim, hi Dolores. Colleen is here, and Deanne, hello. Hi Sarah and Belinda. Tila is here from Oregon. Thank you. Kim's from Michigan. Hi Kim. Hi Bonnie. Jennifer, hello Jennifer. Siobhan, good morning to you. Joanne is here. Erica's here from the mountains of North Carolina. Sounds beautiful. Josephine, hello. Kim is new. Welcome Kim. I trust you enjoy the time we spend together today. Bettina, good morning. Hello, Kayla and Rose. Donna is here from Perth. Thank you, Kim. Hi, Karen and Lisbeth from Denmark. Joanne is here. Joanne needs some strength today for her son in Melbourne. Sending lots of love and strength to your son and to you and anyone else who needs it too right now. Good morning, Rebecca, and Deanne is here from Melbourne. Jeanette is here from Sydney. Hello, Kate. Linda, Kim says, I've never watched one of your videos before. Well, welcome. Real Joe Ryan is here. A sneaky visit while Joe's at work. Welcome. Adriana's from the UK. Welcome. And Alexandra and everyone else who's here. Thank you. Thank you. And so before I get started with the cards, I just want to remind you, especially if you are new to watching, that this is a guide only. So please take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits into your life easily. The things that feel like I'm talking directly to you, you can trust those things. You don't trust me, trust the things that feel right to you, and see how they fit into your life and the potential for this week ahead. So some of you who are still on your Sunday, then last week's video guidance is likely still in effect. Our recap on last week, what an intense week it was, and we did have our theme card was the Spirit Dragon, which heightened the energy. It intensified the energy, that's for sure, as a lot of things seemed to shift and be amplified last week. So I trust that you coped and you flowed well with all the strange, heightened and intense energy last week. And we're starting a brand new week now. So I'm shuffling my cards And I'm looking for the best cards that we need for this week ahead. So from the 18th of October through till the 24th of October 2021. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust you've been led here for a reason. So let's see, what do we have? The best cards for that we need, the majority of us for this week ahead, are these. Alright, let's see how we're going to lay them out. It's a little windy. I don't have anything really to make my cards stay. So hopefully, actually the wind feels like it's picking up. Maybe I've got a rock or stick or something I can put down. Okay, let's get these out. No distractions. And that feels already coming through. Alright, I've put the cards face down, so I'm going to turn them over now. We have 5 Speed of Light Oracle, 3 Animal Kingdom for those interested. We do have a featured card to start with, so I'll talk about that in a minute. We've got another featured card. We do have a dragon. So give me your dragon predictions. Is it spirit, water, air, earth, or spirit, water, air, earth? I've just got a blank, so it's clearly not the other one. Anyway, let's keep turning these cards over. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, so our first featured card, which we will address first before we start, is the fire. Thanks, Stephen. It's clearly not the fire, because I couldn't even think of fire. The White Tiger is a featured card, so it has further instructions here, which say to split the deck and take the top card. So I'm going to split the deck here, and we'll grab this card. Oh, yes, the Stallion. Nice. Okay, and then we have another featured card, which is the Moon, Lunar Cycle. This is a featured timing card, and here it says to take the second card from the top. So I'm just going to go down to the top of the deck, take the second card, and we've got the Dolphin. So those cards will go together, and I'll talk about those when I get to that point. So let's just pop my deck over, put a little stick on there. Sorry about all the noises. This is what happens when it's windy, which is often. But anyway, let's get started here. So we're starting the week with these 2 cards, which is actually quite exciting. We've got the White Tiger and the Stallion. So these guys have come up together for a reason. And what I'm going to do first is look at them separately, and then we'll look at their relationship together. So see how this fits to you as you start the week. The White Tiger is card 48, and it says schedule, routine, adjustment, and management. So this is very much about starting our week by looking at how we're spending our time, what our priorities are, what our routine is this week, and what our schedule is. And I don't know about you, but we haven't had a lockdown here since the middle of 2020, thankfully. But we went into this lockdown on Friday night, so we've had just this sudden sort of change of plans, which we're not used to because we had sort of a lot of freedom for all that time period. So I've noticed for me, like the rest of my week's kind of up in limbo. It's kind of up in the air because I don't know if this lockdown's going to be extended or if it ends tonight as was said. So, you know, there is this thing too where we might have early in the week this sort of sense of not being able to plan or not being able to organise things, or have our routine maybe sort of broken or changed at the moment because of things that might be taking place. On the other hand too, it feels like it's important to look at our schedule, how we spend our time, what are our priorities right now, so we can make sure that we're focusing the time and the attention that's needed on the things that we want to be spending time doing or that we need to be spending time doing. This is connected with the Black Stallion, the Stallion here, card 1. This is a very exciting card. It says to untie yourself. So this is about untying yourself and setting your wild spirit free. So in other words, we may be thinking about earlier in the week, where do we feel tied down? Where do we feel held back? Where do we feel restricted? Or where have we tamed ourselves or become tame in things where we used to feel wild and free, but we've become maybe too tied down or too restricted by things over time. So there might be this sort of energy that's waking up inside us that wants to be untied, it wants to be unmasked, it wants to be free and wild. And so with these two cards coming up together, there is this sense early in the week for us looking at our schedule and making time to untie ourselves from the things that are weighing us down right now too. So what do you need to do with your schedule to make time for your freedom, or make time to tie up some loose ends, to make time to break free from things that have been holding you back for a while? So that's the beginning of the week. That's Monday. And then we'll go here into Tuesday. We've got these two cards for Tuesday. So we'll talk about this one first. It's the Nautilus, card 39. And it says break negative patterns. Break negative patterns and avoid going back to them. So negative patterns, we could think of bad habits that we've fallen into over time. So this could be a habit that you're very aware of, that you have, that you know maybe is not good for you, or it costs a lot of money and you're tired of having, or that habit is weighing you down or draining your bank account, for example. So you may quite well know what this bad habit is, or this pattern that might be called to be broken at the moment. And in fact, Tuesday, which is the 19th, feels like a very favourable day to look at our negative bad habits or our negative patterns and breaking those down, or taking steps to stop giving our power away to these things that we may be attached to. So there is a feeling here of breaking down our shell as well, the shell that we've been hiding behind, or the shell that we've been protecting ourselves with, and to open ourselves up. There is a sense of exposing something within us or within our life that maybe has become a bad habit, or something we maybe are addicted to or rely upon, that we were sort of just casually doing, but we realise perhaps we're giving our power away to that thing. So breaking negative patterns, very favourable for Tuesday, as is the support card coming up. So this is card 35, support, and it says comfort loved ones and reassurance. So this would only come up if we're feeling unloved, unsupported. So for those of you, whether this is Tuesday or whether it's Monday or Friday, whenever you're watching this, if you're feeling unsupported currently, at present, or on Tuesday, you're being reminded to reassure yourself that you are not alone, that you are loved and supported. And the very nature of the general energy in the world right now is to try and keep us separate, divided, small and scared, worried about the future. All this sort of stuff keeps us small and feeling insecure and unsupported and unloved. And like we don't belong in this world, or we don't care about, making the most of our life anymore. If we feel flat like that, it's going to be extra important for those of us that feel that to kind of reassure ourselves that it's going to be okay, to do some self-care practice, which has come up a lot this morning, some time for self-care if needed, to kind of replenish our energy levels, to kind of reconnect, recenter ourselves, resupport ourselves, if you like, so that we can continue to live this life that we're here living. So reassurance that we're not alone, that we are supported, and that our loved ones in spirit too are close by and looking after us as needed. So that's Tuesday. Okay, so then midweek, so we're looking at Wednesday. Wednesday, here we have the Lunar Cycle. Now, every time this card comes up, because I don't really pay much attention to the moon anymore, and it's been rainy and I don't know what the moon's doing. I don't know what the moon cycle's at present without looking it up, and I'm streaming right now so I can't. So this is especially for Wednesday the 20th of October, and we have the Lunar Cycle here with the action taking card. So again, we'll look at these separately, but then we'll look at why they've come up together. So Lunar Cycle is card 53, and it's a featured timing card, so it talks about timing. So, full moon on Wednesday or Thursday, that's interesting. Thanks, Rebecca. So we're talking about a 1 month cycle from Wednesday. So around the 20th of October to the 20th of November, or if it is a full moon around the Wednesday, then new moon full moon, full moon, from full moon to full moon as well. So this 1 month time period is important for us to consider, or what have you, on Wednesday. But it's connected with this card, which is card 10, and it says action taking, move on, horizon, forward, and let go. So on Wednesday, there will be something likely that's coming up, or something quite favourable for us to look at for the next few weeks, the next, say, month, that's to do with allowing the sun to set on old parts of our life, old expired parts, things that have come to a natural ending. Can we let those doors close? Can we allow the sun to set on these old parts of our life that are calling to end, or are naturally ending, or that we don't resonate with anymore? You know, I know in the past, like, I've been happily going to something for a couple of years, and then just suddenly it's like something inside me is just not interested anymore, and it ends. So sometimes things reach a natural ending. Sometimes we complain a lot about this thing, and then we might realise, hey, why am I complaining so much? Let's just close this door. So depending on what it is, of course. But what the important thing with this card is about, as we let the sun set on old parts of our life, as we allow the doors to close, then new doors can open, and the new dawn can rise in our life. So let's be careful on Wednesday and for these next couple of weeks that we're not trying to keep the old door propped open through fear of change, or fear of endings, or whatever it might be that's holding us back, that's keeping us with our foot propped in that door. We may want it to close, but we're also perhaps stopping it from closing. Because if we want the new to come in, if we want the new door to open, if we want the sun to rise on new parts of our life, we have to let the old go. We can't have the sun setting and rising at the same time from our perspective where we are. So allowing ourselves to move on, giving ourselves permission to let go, will also give ourselves permission to move forward. And sometimes the pull in the heart is so strong to move forward, but there is just like something that's in the way. And it's likely our own foot trying to keep that old door propped open. So let's make sure we're not somehow invested in keeping the old story going, or the old in play. And that if we really want to close that door, that we fully close it, so we can let the new door open. New beginnings want to come in. So this might be applicable for you over these next few weeks, as you really consider what needs tying up, what needs closing, what needs ending, what needs setting in your life, so that you can step into the new. There's action in this card, so it's not really about sitting around and just hovering in this, but sort of proactively considering it, contemplating, working with the energy and working with how you feel to make the changes that need to be made. Then we get to the dragon. Who said Earth? Because that's where we're at. The Earth Dragon for Thursday. Thursday the 21st of October. And Thursday, so the Earth Dragon is card 25. And it says physical reformation. We get a bit excited about the dragons, or I do, because there are 5 dragons in this deck of 110, and they're the most powerful cards in the deck. And the Earth Dragon reflects or resonates with or aligns with the earth element. So the earth element connecting with our physical body, our physicality, our physical life, our physical experience. So it says physical reformation. This is talking about important changes taking place in our life, especially around Thursday. This may also overflow into Wednesday, also into Friday, but mainly focused around Thursday is the feeling. So things are changing, things are reforming if we allow them to, if we move our foot out of that door that keeps propping the old door open, if we allow ourselves to come to terms with changes that need to be made, or we allow the old doors to close, we allow the sun to set on those old parts of our life. If we can come to grips with that, and if we can actually do that, it's actually going to potentially bring forward some positive changes in our life. So when I drew this dragon, I imagined it to be huge, and as it walked on the earth, it pushed down the mountains and pulled up the valleys to be mountains, and just was reforming, like massaging the earth, pulling it up and down as it walked across the earth. And there are so many of us at the moment going through big, big physical changes. Changes in home, changes in work, changes in relationships. And this sort of reflects or ripples out into all areas of our life. So the physical changes at the moment are quite big and quite significant that a lot of us are going through. And as other people change in their physical life, it also prompts changes in others. As people leave workplaces or come to workplaces, it creates a change in atmosphere, a change in environment. As people move home, that impacts people around them, maybe family or people close by. And as they move somewhere else, that impacts that area too. So all physical changes, even if we're not physically changing, impact us at some point. So new people coming in, other people leaving, these types of things. So there is a lot of physical change happening. And what we're being really reminded to do is to flow with it as best as we can. So if we're feeling resistance to the change, scared of the change, why, we may want to ask ourselves. Can we move with the change? Can we turn the challenges that we're facing into opportunities? So Earth Dragon. Okay, so then we start moving towards the weekend. Okay, interesting. We've got three quite powerful cards here coming up. So this is especially for Friday, the 22nd of October. And it's card 25, called Pause. And I was feeling the energy of this card this morning when I was writing the current energy report, and I was thinking, this card hasn't come up for ages. I wonder if it will come up today. Because there is this limbo energy around. But anyway, let's talk about this. It's pause. It says here, hold, time, transition, suspension, and limbo. And there is a lot of us, if not most of us, if not all of us, are likely feeling this strange limbo energy that's around. Whereas where things seem to be hovering, things seem to be in this limbo, uncertainty, transitional sort of energy. But this is especially the case for Friday, where we might feel that time or things are on pause, things are on hold, things are sort of suspended in time. We might be like the planes that used to be in the holding pattern, you know, the holding patterns of our life, especially around Friday. But there is this general holding pattern, this general sense of limbo that is present right now, that is creating a little bit of anxiety or uncertainty about where we're going, what's going to happen, and how things might turn out. So this seems to just be sort of around right now. So on Friday, if we do feel this limbo energy, and if it's a bit unsettling for us too, we're being encouraged to use this time to heal, but also to use the time that we can find, if needed, for our self-care. This keeps coming up today. Self-care time is really important, especially if we're struggling, especially if we're exhausted, we're stressed out, we're scared, and we're feeling like we're flattened and low from this constant dramatic energy that's playing out, and this divide and fear in the world that is just grinding and grinding and grinding. If you're feeling ground down, if you're feeling you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, whether this is Friday, whether this is Monday or Sunday, or whenever you're feeling it, it's quite important to make time then to self-care, to make time for your self-care. So what that will be and how that will look for you will be different for us all. So for me, my self-care usually means I go and jump in the bathtub and I lay in there with some nice music and probably sleep, have a sleep or something. That's my small little self-care time that I might need once or twice a week. If I need more serious self-care time because I feel overwhelmed and everything's just too much right now, then I have to make more urgent and serious time for my self-care. That is likely meaning I will turn off my phone, I will turn off all of my apps if I have to keep my phone on, or I will turn off my computer and I won't go onto it, and I will just kind of ease back on things that have been just feeling a bit heavy lately. So there might be other things you can do, like go for a drive, go for a walk, spend some time in nature, do some self-healing time if needed, meditation, that sort of thing, or just catch up on sleep. So using and working with this energy too, you know, it can be a good opportunity for us to use and do things or make time for things that we've been putting off or things that we really need. So this is especially for Friday, but it is hovering around at the moment, this limbo energy, because we're in between change. We're transitioning into a new era. We're transitioning into a new reality, and that can be quite scary. Probably scary for nearly all of us, no matter where we fit or what we feel about things that are taking place. Okay, so Saturday, card 14, the Eagle's Nest. Haven't seen this for a while either. It says preparation, home, waiting, and soon. So this talks about ultimately changes in the home. So those of you who are dealing with changes in the home, especially around Saturday, the 23rd of October, this is especially important for you. There's also an element of this card that talks about preparation. And there is this sense on Saturday that some of us are preparing for something. It could be preparing for change in our home. It could be preparing for some type of physical shift or physical change that is happening right now for us. It could just mean that we feel like we're in preparation mode for something. Preparation, getting organised, if that's helpful. This also reminds us, and coming off that pause card is interesting because it reminds us that our time of waiting will soon be over. So waiting is also suggested here. And coming after that pause card, that limbo card, it shows that maybe or later in this week, early weekend, that there might be this kind of waiting, limbo, pause, stop sort of energy around, where things sort of just seem to stop or pause. So our time of waiting will soon be over, but let's use this time of waiting to our advantage. Maybe we could use it for our self-care time, our self-healing. Maybe we could use it to prepare ourselves to get a bit better organised, maybe to rest or catch up on sleep. There are things we can do while we wait. So if we can trust in perfect timing, then we shouldn't hopefully feel too impatient by waiting, but instead go, okay, I'm waiting now. What can I do with this time? So Eagle's Nest, especially home energy, preparation, and our time of waiting will soon be over. And then Sunday, the 24th of October, is card 16, called Stepping In. Stepping in, for some it might be stepping out. Stepping in, solo, commitment, test, allow, and flow. So this is very much about stepping in and making a commitment. And it's usually a solo commitment. So a commitment that we personally make. It could be our commitment this week to break a habit, which has already come up, to break a negative pattern or a way that we react or a thing that we're addicted to or give our power away to that does not support us and is not healthy for us, that we've determined. It's very difficult for other people to tell other people to break habits if that person's not ready. So if we realise that we have a negative habit or a bad habit or a negative pattern that is pulling us down or is distracting us from what's really important, or we feel attached to, then it's definitely favourable this week to break that habit, to look at it more seriously, and to make a commitment of change for that, if that's something we feel ready to do. There also will likely be something connected on Sunday for us to make a new commitment to something moving forward. It might be connected with a new commitment of self-care or balance, for example, moving forward, or something else that's going on in our life that we're required to really think about. What can we commit to with this? And there is a feeling here of testing the waters on something. So we might be able to test the waters first before we make a commitment. So there might be some commitment too made around the home, because we've got that home, the Eagle's Nest card for Saturday. So for some, there may be a commitment or a contract that's coming in around the home for the weekend. That's sort of quite strong energy too, but not obviously applicable to us all. So that's the cards for the week. I trust they resonate. Some very powerful cards here. So let's see how we flow and go with that. I am going to pull a card. I'm just getting my cards, pulling a card for the theme in just a minute. So I'll do that in a sec. Before I pull the theme card, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to do so. If you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you'd like to learn more about the work that I do at Temple of Balance, if you'd love to get yourself one of my card decks that I created, or there's lots of other different things that I've done over the years on that I share on my website, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. So my next online art class is coming up on Saturday the 6th of November, which may be the 5th for you, especially if you're in the US or Canada sort of area. And we're going to be creating an artwork around reality versus perception. You can grab tickets to that or register for that now, anytime. Just have a look on my website. Also, my first solo art exhibition, Raptors, Owls and Raptors, is coming up on the 4th of December, is our opening event in the afternoon. So if you are in the area of southern Tasmania and you would love to come, then please have a look on my ceramics website, which is leannepeters.com, and you can find tickets to attend the opening. It is at the Raptor Refuge, so there is a small entry fee, much smaller than the usual fee to get into the Raptor Refuge. So if you would love to come and see some real eagles and owls and hawks and all sorts of things, and see my ceramic pieces, then please check that out. Would love to connect with you. So let's see what the best card for the theme is. So the theme will help us bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for this week. So a bit of a theme is around sort of that limbo pause energy. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling mainly at the moment. So let's see, which is the best card for the theme for this week, 18th to the 24th. We have a Speed of Light Oracle card. This card came up this morning in the current energy report, and it's card 21, called Initiation. It says mastery, milestone, progression, and greatness. This is about stepping through tests. So stepping through an initiation portal or doorway is similar to me, like how I liken it to, is when we sit an exam at school, or when we're training or learning something, we sit an examination to see if we've passed what we've learned that year or that semester or whatever. Because passing that exam then gives us the qualifications or whatever, but also helps us move to the next level or the next grade. Now, the thing with examination tests or initiation tests is that we're sitting an exam, and the exam is always based on what we've already learned. And this is a really key thing when we're facing initiation tests. So if you're feeling tested right now, maybe reflect in your journal. This is a great reason to have a journal, but if you haven't got one, maybe reflect on these last 6 to 12 months or so and notice what you've been tested on, what's happened for you, and how did you resolve that? How did you get through it? Because it's most likely that what you're being tested on now during an initiation test is something you've already been tested. It's like a last call in the examination to see if you've really learned what you've claimed that you've learned. So if you find yourself right now going, my gosh, I thought I went through that. I thought I resolved that. Why is this coming up again? It's probably likely to be an initiation test. You're sitting an exam to be tested in some ways by the universe to see if you're really ready to move to that next level. If you've really learned what you claimed that you've learned in recent months. So this is a really good thing, because the initiation tests show that we're preparing to move to a new level in our life. We're sitting this test examination to see if we are qualified for what we're about to step into, or if we are ready to move to that next level in our life. If we don't quite pass the test for whatever reason, it's okay. We'll just keep learning it for a bit longer, and then we'll be examinated again in the months or years to come. But what is happening right now, and as a theme, so especially this week, we might find that we're tested. We might find that we're quite tested this week in different levels. tested to see how we're going to respond to it, how we're going to cope with it, but also what we have learned when we felt like this before. So what I would be doing is I'd be sitting with what I'm being tested with, if I feel that this week, and I'd be reflecting on this last 6 to 12 months and reflecting on, okay, when have I felt this before? How did I deal with that? Did that work for me the way I dealt with it? And can I deal with it again at this time in that similar sort of way? If not, then how could I deal with this better than before? Or I'd be reflecting in my journal to remind myself of how I experience things if I need to do that. So this is a really good thing, even though it does bring with it tests. This is a great opportunity and a great sign that we are potentially moving to the next level, personally and in our life. So we are ready to face this examination, this test that we've been faced with right now, and we are ready to pass that test. So let's tap into our inner resources. Let's tap into our memory of what we've been through. Let's think about it, use our common sense. Let's feel upon it too and see what we need to do to pass this. It may be connected with closing some doors, because I'm getting now pulled back to this action-taking card, which is about letting the sun set on old parts of our life, or allowing the old doors to close. We might be, some of us, tested on why we're not letting these old doors close. Why aren't we letting the sun set on these old parts of our life that we know that we're ready to move on from? Why can't we let that go? Why are we keeping the string dangling on this without cutting and severing that? There must be a reason. Maybe we're scared of hurting people. Maybe we feel guilty. Maybe we're scared of the new, actually. Maybe we're not sure who we are if we let that past go, because that was our identity, that was our story for so long. So there could be all sorts of reasons, but this is all likely connected with our moving into this initiation for our theme this week. So that's all I've really got to say. Thank you so much for connecting, and I trust this resonates. You won't really know till you go through your week, so come back, connect with the recording if you're inspired to. You'll find it pinned to my Temple of Balance Facebook page. You will find it on my website, templeofbalance.com.au, under the video tab, where you can also find lots of other videos I've done if you would like to watch anything. You can also find it on my Temple of Balance YouTube channel. If you ever take a break from Facebook, or if you just need to detach and whatever, or you just fed up or what have you, I understand. I totally understand. You can find most of my videos on YouTube, Temple of Balance. So don't feel that you have to be here on Facebook to watch my videos. If you don't want to be here, it's okay. So thank you. Have a fantastic week. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating, and a happy initiation. And I will see you most likely throughout the week or next Monday for the weekly guidance. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye.